Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to the EK tutorial. Today we will discuss the third lecture of biomolecules, which is the second chapter of first year biology, that is carbohydrate. What carbohydrates are, how we define it. Carbohydrates are naturally occurring compounds having are also known as hydrated carbons. Why we call them hydrated carbons? Because they are composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, having the hydrogen and oxygen ratio similar as in water. The general formula of carbohydrates is CxH2O(Y), where X and Y are whole numbers. And here you can see that the oxygen and hydrogen ratio is similar as in water. That's why we call it hydrated carbons. But this definition do not confirm all the compounds which are carbohydrates, and some other exceptions are there which do confirm this general formula, but actually they are not carbohydrates. For example, the compound like ramenose, is purely carbohydrate, but it do not confirm the general formula having the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen same as in water. And other compounds they do confirm, like formaldehyde, the formaldehyde having the chemical formula CH2O. Here you can see that the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen is similar as in water, but formaldehyde is not a carbohydrate. Another compound like acetic acid having general formula CH3COOH, or we can also write it like C2H2O2. Here you can also see the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen is similar as in water, but acetic acid also is not a carbohydrate, and formaldehyde also. So these are some of the exceptions. So what is the correct definition of carbohydrates? In chemical sense, the correct definition of carbohydrates is that carbohydrates are polyhydroxy ketones or aldehydes are substance which do produce the polyhydroxy ketones or aldehydes. Upon hydrolysis they are known as carbohydrates. तो उनको हम कहेंगे क्या? कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स कहेंगे. अब कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स में पॉलीहाइड्रोऑक्सी मीन्स कंटेनिंग मैनी ऑफ द हाइड्रोक्साइल ग्रुप्स with the groups like ketones and aldehydes. So this is the general definition of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the part of structure and function within the living system. Living organisms में हम carbohydrates को we can see them as a part of structure and also function. So how? For example, many of the components within the living system are composed of carbohydrates like cell wall, which is the major component in fungi, algae, plants and bacteria, and functions. They perform many functions within the living system. For example, they are the great source of energy within the living system, and they are formed majorly by the photosynthesis within the plants, and they may change into other compounds by the chemical reactions within the plants and animals. Some examples of carbohydrates are like cellulose, glycogen, starch. These are some of the examples of carbohydrates. Where we can find the carbohydrates generally? So carbohydrates are found in cereal crops, rice, wheat, potato, milk, sugar, honey, and many other sources of carbohydrates are found. So this is what the general introduction of carbohydrates. Inshallah, in our next lecture we will define the classification of carbohydrates and some other aspects related to the carbohydrates. Thank you so much.